He saw her through the rain, a woman in a soaked nurse's uniform, clutching a baby wrapped in a towel, standing by the side of the road under a flickering streetlight. The baby's faint cry mixed with the sound of the storm, and for a second, he thought it was a dream, a painful kind of déjà vu. But when she looked up, her trembling lips whispering for help, he realized it wasn't the rain that made his heart ache. It was the look in her eyes. The look of someone who had lost everything, but refused to give up. Before we dive into her story, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from tonight? And if this story touches your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Sometimes a small act of kindness can change a life forever, just like it did for them. It was almost midnight when Ethan pulled his old pickup to the side of the road. He was returning from a late shift at the auto shop, hands still greasy, shoulders heavy with exhaustion. Life as a single dad wasn't easy. Between fixing cars, helping his 8-year-old daughter with homework, and keeping their small home standing, he had learned to live with the kind of tiredness that didn't go away with sleep. He almost drove past her. Most people did. But something about that small figure in the rain, her arms wrapped protectively around her crying baby, made him stop. "Hey, are you okay?" he asked, stepping out, his jacket immediately soaked. The woman turned slowly, eyes red and hollow. "Please, I don't have anywhere to go." Her voice was barely louder than the rain that he looked at the baby shivering in her arms. "Come on," he said quietly. "You'll catch your death out here." Inside the truck, the heater coughed to life. The baby's cries softened a little as she held him close, her hands shaking. Ethan handed her his daughter's old blanket from the back seat. "Here, this might help." She took it, whispering, "Thank you." Her name was Lily. She was a nurse, had been, until a month ago. Her husband had died in an accident, and the hospital had let her go when she couldn't stop missing shifts. The bills piled up, the rent ran out, and tonight she'd been standing at that bus stop with nowhere to go but the storm. Ethan didn't know what to say. He just listened. Sometimes that's all a person needs. When they reached his small, creaky house at the edge of town, his daughter, Mia, was still awake, drawing at the kitchen table. "Dad, who's that?" she asked, blinking sleepily. "Someone who needs a dry place to stay," he said. Without hesitation, Mia ran to fetch another blanket. That's how kids are. They love without measuring. Lily kept saying she'd only stay the night. But one night turned into 2, then 3. Ethan saw the way she tried to clean up after meals, how she folded the laundry, how she always checked on Mia before bed. She wasn't just grateful. She was rebuilding herself, piece by fragile piece. Still, there was a heaviness behind her smile. One evening, Ethan found her sitting outside on the porch, staring at the rain again. "You ever feel like life keeps testing you until you've got nothing left?" she asked softly. He nodded. "Yeah, I used to think life was punishing me. But maybe it's just trying to see how much we can love before we break." She smiled faintly. "You lost someone too?" "My wife," he said. "Cancer." Mia was 3. I didn't know how to be both mom and dad. Still don't some days. For a long moment, they sat in silence. 2 broken people sharing the same storm. Days turned into weeks. Lily found a new job at a small clinic nearby. She'd leave early, come home tired but smiling. Mia adored her, followed her around like a shadow. The house started to feel alive again. There was laughter in the kitchen, warmth in the air. But one afternoon, Ethan came home to find Lily gone. The baby's crib was empty, her few belongings missing. No note. Nothing. Just silence that hit him harder than he expected. He told himself she probably found a better place, that she owed him nothing. But deep down, he missed her. Not just because she filled the quiet, but because she reminded him what hope looked like when you've lost everything. Weeks passed. Winter came. And then one snowy morning, Mia came running from outside, shouting, "Dad, there's someone at the door." He opened it, and there she was, Lily, holding her baby, bundled and smiling this time. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice trembling. I didn't want to leave. I just needed to stand on my own 2 feet again. I got a place now and a job at the city hospital, but I wanted to come back to say thank you. You gave me more than a roof. You gave me hope. Ethan didn't say anything at first. He just looked at her, at the baby reaching toward Mia, and smiled softly. You don't owe me anything, Lily, but it's good to see you. She took a deep breath. You said once that life tests how much we can love before we break. I think it also shows us who's meant to help us rebuild. Mia tugged Ethan's hand and whispered, Dad, can they stay for dinner? Lily laughed through her tears. We'd love to. That evening, the small kitchen glowed with warmth again. Laughter filled the cracks in the walls, and for the first time in a long while, it didn't feel like three lost souls trying to survive. It felt like a family, one born not from blood, but from kindness. And as the snow fell quietly outside, Ethan looked across the table. The nurse, her baby, his daughter, and realized something simple but powerful. Sometimes, when you stop looking for miracles, life sends you one standing in the rain. Because hope doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it just whispers, you're not alone anymore.